The following podcast contains explicit language and content that may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Sometimes that works. Thank you.
Quítate. Quítate.
Is my door up?
Yeah. Oh my god. I feel so unprepared.
That's okay.
They can see us now.
He's right behind you,
Oh
isn't
my
he,
god, my
guys?
laptop died.
Bruh.
Oh, my charger's right here, actually.
My charger.
Hold on.
We're so badly prepared. We knew this was gonna happen. Like, we
No,
have days to set up, and like, we just don't set up or anything or charge our
sorry that
computer.
I was so busy.
Bitch, sorry that I'm so busy.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Welcome.
the.
I thought I was doing an intro.
You can do it.
Okay. Welcome to the Qué Spooky podcast, where two funny dudes share paranormal stuff, true crime, and other scary things from around the world. I'm Kevin,
And I'm Andres.
and welcome to episode 96.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so, right?
96.
So we're doing kind of a little bit of a different setup than we did last time. So
Yeah.
I thought, I was telling Kevin, I was like, why don't we invite everybody over to like the room and like hang out on
Not
the
literally.
bed? Yeah.
A
I'm
figurative hangout, if you would.
like it kind of just reminded me of like the whole theme of the podcast, primos and primas, like just getting along. And I'm like, well, what was funner than like having sleepovers and telling scary stories and having everybody like hang out on the bed. So you guys are joining us on the bed today. So we've got our little pumpkin between us, and then I have my little ghost blanket that Kevin's sister gave me. It's literally the shape of a ghost, so I love it. And I'm in my pajamas. Kevin's in his pajamas, so
Kind of.
we're a little bit. So we're gonna get started. So first thing I
Well,
want to mention. Okay, go ahead.
before the setup is a little different because we did hear everyone's criticisms. We understand that there was issues with the audio. We hope that this time around it is better. Um, I think it was just the setting. It was our first time recording on video. Um, so it's like we were kind of nervous, but if we like, we'll get better. So we appreciate everyone that has like reached out and let us know and says like, "Hey, love you guys, but I can't get through the audio." Like that's okay. I mean, we like the honesty.
You said criticism, but it was feedback. We got
Feedback,
feedback.
that's the word. I don't know why I was
Feedback.
like críticas. Is that not the
I mean,
same?
because they weren't a bad thing, and everybody was super
Yeah,
nice
but
about it.
criticism isn't always bad.
I don't know. I feel like it has a negative connotation. To me, it
Yeah.
has a negative connotation,
Okay,
but
feedback.
we
That's
got
the
feedback.
better word.
Yes.
Sorry. Um,
Our
but
cats are running around in here, so they might jump on the bed while we're talking. So just
yeah.
keep that in mind. Um, are you good?
Yeah.
Was that it? Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
good.
I didn't want to, I like kind of interrupted you, but I want to remind you guys that you can actually go to our Instagram at Guest Spooky Podcast, and we still have that link on our bio for the all my links. When you click on it, it's going to have several different resources. Under the heading of immigration resources, we have ¿Cuáles son tus derechos si llega tu casa, trabajo, lo que sea? And it's talking about like what to do if ICE shows up where you are. There's Know Your Rights if you encounter ICE, which is the exact same. It's not the same article, but it's the same information in English. And then we've got two places you can actually donate to, which is National Immigrant Justice Center and Donate Now Immigrant Legal Resources. And these are resources that are helping people that have been detained by ICE, and it helps them get legal counsel. So under that, we still have the support Palestine links. We still support Palestine. That's not changing anytime soon. That's the Organization for the Children and Doctors Without Borders. Gaza still needs help. So if donate to that, and here's my daughter Venus. So we're just hanging out. So what's been going on?
Um, Nothing. I don't know.
Nothing. Well,
Actually, there's a few things. I mean, it's officially the summer officially ended,
mm-hmm.
so that's done, which I'm glad. I don't know. The weather hasn't really been giving autumn.
It
Um,
really hasn't. It's been so hot.
yeah, and I hate it. Speaking of actually, if everything lined up perfectly, which I'm hoping it did, um, we launched a merch store. And I'll provide the link, probably like I'll edit it and put the link up here, or like you can just type it in. It's probably not something you can click. It'll probably be in the episode description on YouTube and for any podcast that you listen to. We do have just a few designs out. It's literally just like the logo that we have. Um, but we plan to eventually like release more ideas like in the future. If you do have any like if you know anybody or if you yourself are a graphic designer that wouldn't mind um helping us out with the design, obviously we'll pay, but we we want to we have a few ideas for
Pay.
merch. I mean, we'll pay the artist.
I thought we were doing like how they do in Mexico where we make you tamales and you're like, here's your payment. I'm just kidding.
No, we'll
So
obviously pay artists, but what else was I gonna say? Oh, we want to save up for a camera.
yeah, we're right now we're
Obviously.
recording on our phones. Right now,
So,
Kevin was like, can we record on your phone again? And I was like, my phone's running out of battery. I think we may
yeah.
have to do it on yours. So
Mine is too, so this better be quick.
yeah.
Um, do you have anything else that's been going on?
Well, like for me, classes in full swing. So I started my second class. So now I've got classes Monday evening and Wednesday evenings. And then I also signed up for a jujitsu class back before all of this went down. Then I started having some health issues and I couldn't go to jujitsu anymore, so I had to push them back. It was like kind of like a package that they did where it's like, oh, 6 weeks, lose weight, like blah, 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 you know. And I didn't really do it for the lose weight part. It was like something different, you know. I feel like when you start losing weight, and I don't know if like more people can identify with this, but like sometimes you get stuck and you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing at the gym anymore. I don't even know if what I'm doing is helping. I don't know if like I'm eating right. I don't know. Like it's just you get to a point where you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing and I don't know if what I'm doing is right and I need help, but you don't really know where to go or you don't have the money to. Well, I signed up for this program and then I paid for it and then I started having health issues and I had to put those on the back burner. Well, now that I've paid for them, I have Monday, Wednesday class, and then I have to go to jujitsu for an hour, 3 times a week. So it's like literally right now, I feel like my schedule is jam packed because then I also have to do homework since they're two separate classes. I'm having to, and you know, when you have like two separate classes, you have to do a lot of homework. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of reading by yourself. You've got to do a lot of supplemental stuff. And so it's like I've been having to like try to allocate time to do the podcast, my homework, go to class, and then also do jujitsu, and then make sure that I'm also exercising because right now I have to exercise. And so it's just been kind of a mess. It's been kind of a mess.
For you, unfortunately,
Yeah.
yes. I feel like for me, I go to work and then I
You
clock out and then I
get up, take 6 steps, and then you're on the bed because he works from
yeah.
home. So
Yeah, I work right there actually. That's my work place.
this is his work area. This might change soon.
Oh
This
yes,
is so,
I forgot the setting. Check the scene. The scene is safe.
yeah.
Um,
We're just trying this out. So this setting might change too. We might go back
no,
downstairs.
we want to. I mean, I prefer this because I like the idea that you said of like it feels like you're hanging out with your
Yeah.
cousins like after a sleepover where you just pull out like fucking like sorry, shouldn't be swearing. You pull out a like a thick blanket to put on the ground, and like three of your cousins line up and s- like sardines.
like sardines in a
And
can.
yeah,
Hell yeah! It just kind of reminds me of like fun times.
like cuando te dicen un chisme, when they're like, "Oh my God, girl,
Y luego,
get over it." I don't know. And yeah, this might change. We actually I bought a backdrop that
mhm.
was just supposed to be like black, just like a black backdrop. And for some reason, it didn't come with like the the poles. What is it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The
The
tripod, the
tripod thing.
stand.
Yeah, like so it's literally just like a big rug, and I was hoping that it would come with like the bars thing, but we might not be able to even use it anyway. So this is good enough as it is.
Yep. So, and then we're still like getting used to talking to you guys and also being on our computer so we can look at our notes and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like, but,
Sometimes I like zone out and I'm just like I look off then to the distance and then my eyes cross.
or like
So
when
that might
Kevin,
happen a lot.
or like when Kevin did this in the last episode.
Oh, I edited out. I
Oh,
edited it out. But I did talk about it to Oscar and Andrea
oh
from our
yeah.
book club.
Oh, that's also something we've been doing
Yeah.
recently. Like we're still going to the book club and we actually started a book club with my cousins too. And so that's
Yeah.
been a lot of fun. Sorry, I like completely like 180'd and changed the
Yeah.
subject, but
Yeah,
um
I, I edited it out obviously, but at one point, and it's literally just because I'm not used to being on camera, where at one point I was like talking and then I go like this where I just like block my face for like a good like 3 minutes. And I think I was just like reviewing my notes, so I wasn't like saying anything, but still like looking back at it, I was like, "Oh my God. Imagine having to redo that."
oh no. Absolutely not. Something that we've read recently was I who have me who have never known men. I who have
I
never
who have never known men.
and let me tell you that book.
It's a post-apocalyptic feminist book. Where we discussed it in our book club. I recommend it. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the type of book that doesn't give you any like solid resolution, so it does leave you with a lot of
It's very
questions.
open-ended.
It reminded me of The Giver, which I read like in middle school. The Giver has a very open-ended uh ending. Um, and they made it into a movie which kind of chose an answer for you. It gave a little more back information. Um, but I feel like this book was very, very well written. It was written in the 90s, first of all. I liked it so much. Originally, like it was written in French, so I bought the French version, and I'm like, I'm keeping this in my book collection. Like,
Yeah. Now, keep in mind if you're going to pick it up, there are a lot of mixed reviews.
yeah.
There are some people that absolutely did not like this book, and there are people that really liked it. I'm typically one of the people that usually don't like things that are too complicated and like don't have a resolution, but for some reason, this book just kind of like hit in the right spot for me because I identified with the main character a lot and I was like, wow, this is really good. And I finished it super quick. And it's a really fast read too. Even if like you read it really fast, it is a very fast read. It,
We recommend it.
it's like shorter.
Yeah. As for any other books that I've read, I finished Being Dead. The book is called Being Dead by Vivian Vandevelde. It was originally published in 2001, so it was like a very old book. Like on the back of the page, like on the back of the book, it has a like one of those stamps that you would get at the Scholastic Book Fair when
Oh,
you buy
wow.
it. Like I remember buying this in like elementary school, and I was like, I should not have been reading this because it is a children's book. It like the writing is very like simple, but it's scary. I recommend it if you're able to find it. If not, I'm sure there's an audiobook version of it. Um, so yeah, is there anything else that you've been reading?
Anything else that I've read? I finished Deadstream, which is kind of like a I don't feel like it was bad, but it wasn't for me. It's about like kids, like Gen Zers streaming and like something haunting them through the internet, and that was kind of interesting.
Hmm.
But the lingo and the streaming thing, and especially because like I don't watch a lot of streamers, this is definitely like a book for younger people. So, I mean, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it for as much as I could. Um, I definitely would recommend it if you're kind of like a streamer or somebody that's on the internet a lot. That was pretty good. Before then, I read It Blooms at Night, and that
Mhm.
one was like a queer eco horror.
Yeah, you said you really liked it.
I really liked it. I'm there. Like the main character was going through something. The setting was like the swamps of Louisiana. It talks about capitalism. It talks about like people taking advantage of other people, set amidst like this weird um something's happening. Something's going on in nature, and like it's changing the animals and the people. So,
I'll have
very
to,
interesting. You're gonna have to like read it.
yeah,
It's
I
really
have to
good.
read it. Recently I just started reading Sour Candy by Keelan Patrick
Mm-hmm.
Burke. Um, I don't I mean I know what's happening in the book, but I just don't know why it's happening. Um, it's interesting though, and it's a very short read. Like the audiobook, I think it's about like 2 hours and a half, so it's not like a very long read.
Mm-hmm.
I've also started reading Chlorine by Jade Song. It was recently published at the beginning of 2025, but it is kind of like a horror book-ish. I don't want to say it's like horror, but it's more like it's like Carrie kind of, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah,
Thriller? Does that even count as a thriller? I don't know.
maybe a little bit.
Hold on. Leo, psst, psst, Vin. Um, but yeah, is there anything else you wanted to mention, or did you want to start?
Okay, well, I guess the only thing that I wanted to mention is the new book we're gonna be reading with our book club for the month of October is This Thing Between Us, which I've already read. It's by Gus Moreno, and that one was pretty good. So, just giving kind of like a little more information to what's coming.
Yeah.
I'm actively gonna reread it.
Oh,
Sorry guys, our child is he knows we're recording and so now he keeps walking in front of the camera.
um, but I'm excited about the case that you have today for us.
So the case that I'm covering is actually one that we've done in Spanish, but I got a couple of requests from a few people that they wanted me to do it, and when I reminded them that we had done it in Spanish, I was like, "Well, why don't we do it in English?" You know? And I've already kind of decided that there's a lot that I didn't cover in the English episode or in the Spanish episode. So I think that this is just going to be part 1 of Appalachia. So in the English version.
Hmm.
So what I'm doing today, like we're gonna go through, I'm gonna cover like kind of what Appalachia is and some stories that I found online. But there's definitely going to be more to come because there's so much to cover. There's so many things that happen in Appalachia. And I do want to give a shout out to, let's see, Jackie and David. They're the ones that suggested this one. Actually, David recently suggested the Pacific Crest Trail, but then he reminded me that back in 2022 he had suggested Appalachia. So I wanted to give him a shout out to David.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then me and Jackie were kind of emailing back and forth the last couple of days. All right, guys. So I'm covering Appalachia. My source of information was a Wikipedia article for the Appalachian Mountains. Uh, Golis, my Canva site about Appalachia, and then thecollector.com, Appalachia folk stories, scary. All right, so the Appalachian Mountains or Appalachians are this massive mountain range in eastern and northeastern North America. The name Appalachian can refer to the mountains themselves or the surrounding regions depending on how it's used. In the US, they're part of the Appalachian Highlands, while in Canada, they're called the Appalachian Uplands. Interestingly, they're not the same as the Appalachian Plateau. That is just one part of it. So the range stretches from Newfoundland, Canada, all the way to central Alabama in the US, even crossing into French territory, St. Pierre and Miquelon. It's about 2,050 miles. That makes it technically present in three countries. Its tallest peak, Mount Mitchell in North Carolina, is 684 feet and holds the title for the highest point east of the Mississippi River. What's fascinating is how old these mountains are. Way older than the Rockies. Their formation started about 1.1 billion years ago when two ancient continents, Laurentia and Amazonia, collided to form a supercontinent called Rodinia. This collision created the first mountains in the regions, and from that time are still visible today. Then, around 480 million years ago, new geological processes shaped the Appalachians through three distinct mountain building eras. At one point, the range had peaks as tall as the Alps or the Rockies, but 240 million years of erosion gave us the gentler mountains we see now in the ranges.
I was about to ask, like, what happened? As if it happened like within our lifetime. Like, wait,
What
did I miss
happened?
something?
So, the Appalachians have always been a natural barrier to travel, with their ridgelines and valleys running against the direction of most east west routes. This was a huge factor in shaping the colonial expansion of the US. It stopped them for quite a long time until they could get through it. And let's not forget about the Appalachian Trail, one of the most famous hiking trails in the world. It's 2,175 miles long, running from Mount Katahdin in Maine to Springer Mountain in Georgia, and it crosses much of the Appalachian Range. There's even an international extension in the trail that goes into New Brunswick and Quebec in Canada. It's a paradise for hikers and nature lovers, quote unquote.
Yeah, I've seen like people spend like 6 months hiking this.
Yeah,
Like they will
people,
they will not quit their job, but I mean sometimes they might.
they take a hiatus.
They leave their job for some time for months to hike this entire trail. Um, which is really cool. I would be so down to do it,
Hell yeah. But
but I have a job.
I hear that there's a lot of scary stuff that happens there, as we're gonna see in the stories here.
We need uh we need hikers
Yeah.
on the show.
So I don't remember if I talked about this in the Spanish episode, but supposedly the Appalachian Mountains are kind of like mystical. They have like this kind of like weird energy about them, and the range that stretches from Georgia all the way through, or Alabama all the way through the northern part of the US. Back when Europe, like it was just like a huge supercontinent, that mountain range also supposedly goes through Ireland. And that's why they're like the dark forest in Ireland are actually part of that mountain range. And
Mm.
supposedly, like this mountain range has been charged with like paranormal and supernatural power since the very beginning. And that is why they have that mountain range, that forest in Ireland that's also supernaturally charged because it's one and the same,
Mhm.
supposedly. So that was very interesting.
That makes sense. And I think a lot of not just in Ireland, but like I feel like in the UK, um back when the world was just like one continent, it kind of lines up where everything kind of had was one mountain range, and it does lead into like parts of the UK that may have like strange apparitions or like a strange history around it.
Yeah, for sure. So, kind of like back to the history of it. In 1528, while exploring the northern coast of Florida, the Narvaez expedition, including Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca, discovered a Native American village near modern day Tallahassee. The villager's name for the area was Appalachian or Appalachen, was described by the Spanish as Appalachi, and used to refer to the tribe and the region extending that inland. The expedition led by Panfilo de Nevares entered Appalachia territory on June 15th, 1528, marking the name's first recorded use. Now spelled Appalachian, it is the fourth oldest European place name still in use in the US. So it was given by the Europeans.
Do you know like what it meant to the Native American village.
Uh,
The villagers name for the area.
well,
That was just what they called it.
and because we know how Native Americans were treated,
Hmm.
there isn't a lot of great record keeping around this time. So, after Hernando de Soto's 1540 expedition, Spanish cartographers began applying the name to the nearby mountains. The first map to include Appalachian was Diego Gutierrez's 1562 map of Western Hemisphere, while Jacques Lemoyne's de Morgue's 1565 map was the first to use the name for the mountain range. Interestingly, Appalachian wasn't commonly used before the entire range until the 19th century. Before that, names like Allegheny Mountains, Alleghenies, and even Alleghenia were more popular. In the early 19th century, Washington Irving even suggested renaming the United States after either Appalachia or Alleghania. So now, kind of like sped forward to why this is a very popular hiking area. It's because it has very immersive nature. The Appalachian Trail offers an unparalleled opportunity to experience the beauty and diversity of the natural world, quote unquote. Hikers traverse breathtaking landscapes, misty mountaintops, dense forests, rolling meadows, rocky ridges, and serene streams. Wildlife encounters, it's very common to see deer, bears, songbirds, and it also adds to kind of the allure of the area. So, a lot of people like to travel here and do the hikes that Kevin said for 6 months to seek personal growth and challenge. Many hikers view the Appalachian Trail as a personal challenge or transformative experience, and there's plenty of people that actually get into it and then record what they've done in YouTube videos or write whole blog posts about it because it's really a test of grit, perseverance, physical stamina, and it's for a lot of people a rewarding test of resilience. It definitely helps them overcome hardships like steep climbs, bad weather, or isolation that fosters a sense of accomplishment and personal growth. And this is straight from a couple of articles that I was reading from different hikers that kind of talked about like why they did this. Um, for some, hiking the trail is a way to celebrate life milestones, cope with loss, or seek clarity during transitions. Another reason why is it escapes the hustle of modern life. So a lot of people like to kind of break off and distract and like stop the distractions from technology, like their jobs, their families, I guess in some cases, and they kind of like to go off by themselves and enjoy like a simpler lifestyle that only focuses on basic needs like food, water, and shelter, which can be refreshing and grounding for a lot of people. A lot of people like to take off their shoes and walk some of the trail to like really ground themselves. It said that also it builds a lot of connections and community because of all the hikers that like to trail the Appalachian Trail. It's very common that volunteers called trail angels will be along the trails. Long distance hikers often form bonds with others on the trail, sharing stories, meals, and camaraderie. So it's very common for you to like pick up the trail and you walk at a certain pace, you know. It might it might not be as fast as others, so you'll fall behind, and then for a night some people will catch up to you. You'll have dinner with them, you'll share stories, they'll sleep next to you, and then in the morning you part ways and they take off faster than you do. And then it's kind of like that, like you hike and then some days you sleep by yourself and you're not with anyone, and other days you like meet strangers and you're gonna be and you fall asleep next to them in the campgrounds or like wherever you're camping. So it's super interesting, right?
I don't know. That's kind of scary.
It can be. I get like this is definitely white people stuff. So, um, there's also a sense of like trail magic where strangers offer food, rides, words of encouragement, and it kind of reinforces like a kindness and a community. Also, for a lot of people, this is achieving a lifelong dream. For many hikers, the Appalachian Trail is a bucket list adventure. The trail's history, its iconic status, and the accomplishment of completing a through hike makes it a dream for a lot of outdoor enthusiasts. Even section hikers, those that complete like trails like in smaller sections. So they'll like be dropped off at like one section of the trail and then they'll do like a 15-mile hike or like a few days hike or a couple weeks. They really enjoy it because it's like a journey. It's a definitely like something that challenges them that they love to do, and that's normal too. You don't have to do the whole trail. You can do
Yeah.
bits and pieces, like pick up and then stop wherever you want to.
I think this is also like a good um I don't know what, but it's like a good example. Would that be the right word? Sorry, I just don't speak English today, I think. But it goes to show how remote this place is, how there's barely any civilization around. Like once you're on the trail, like the only people you'll see are the people that are catching up to you, or that the ones that are like surpassing you on a trail.
Yeah. I've heard that sometimes it's normal to not see, like during non-peak times of the trail, like you won't see anybody. And then during peak times of the trail, you might see people every few hours or every day or whatever it is. So, but like this trail is very remote. It's in the mountains. Also, like I mentioned before, going through the trail is actually like helping people reconnect with oneself. The solitude of the trail allows for introspection, self discovery, and mindfulness. Hikers often report gaining a deeper understanding of themselves and their priorities. Of course, having to ration and walk for days, like you're going to kind of like have a different perspective on life and the way that you do things in your normal life after experiencing something like this. Um, a lot of people like to go because the experience historical and cultural and it has a big cultural significance. The Appalachian Trail runs through regions rich in history and culture. Hikers encounter landmarks, small towns, and remnants of early American history. The trail also symbolizes conservation and environmental stewardship, providing an opportunity to engage with and appreciate protected lands. The physical and mental benefits are amazing because it's an excellent way to stay fit, build endurance, and improve overall all health. Spending time outdoors has been shown to reduce stress, boost mental well being, and enhance creativity. And also, the sense of freedom that it gives you is amazing. The times that we go to hikes with our hiking crew, or like when we go out to hike, I don't know, do you feel different afterwards?
No.
He's gonna say no. To me, I feel like more grounded. I feel more grounded afterwards. I feel better. I feel like it's almost like I breathe in nature and like exhale all my worries, kind of. I remember there was that one day that I can remember when I was doing this, or like I was practicing this one time, and then you came up to me and you're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just giving my stress away to the forest."
Hmm.
And you were like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, it's a great thing to do. But what are some hardships and hikers can face while they're doing this? There's a lot of physical challenges. There's steep ascents, descents. Many sections, especially in New England, are steep and physically demanding. Um, Pennsylvania is known as Rocksylvania because this is where sharp rocks dominate the trail. It's not like a traditional trail. The through hiking the entire trail requires months of walking. The most hikers averaging 5 to 7 months to complete the journey, and then the weathers can be extreme. Sudden storms, particularly in mountainous areas, can make hiking treacherous. High humidity, heat in southern sections during the summer can lead to dehydration or heat exhaustion. Cold snaps in the northern sections, even in late spring or early fall, can catch hikers off guard. So if you're not wearing the correct clothes, you're gonna have to call for help. It's the navigation and isolation can get crazy as well. While the trail is well marked with white blazes, fog or snow can obscure markings. Remote sections like Maine's 100-mile wilderness offers no resupply points. Like this is literally a stretch of 100 miles that there is no towns. It's not close to a road. It's not close to anything. You're literally in the middle of nowhere for 100 miles. So people know to stock up and get your stuff ready for this trail because this is an especially like dangerous part of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also wildlife encounters. Black bears, like I mentioned before, are very common in many regions. Hikers must use bear-proof containers or hang food away from campsites. Snakes, venomous species like copperheads and rattlesnakes can be found all through the area. There's ticks that carry Lyme disease um, in the Mid-Atlantic and New England regions. And it also like When you're by yourself for that long, it can also have a very negative effect on your mental health. The long periods of solitude can be very mentally taxing.
I was gonna say, like, I think with how isolating sometimes it can be, I'm sure that that may have added to like the eeriness of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because when you're
to
by
like legends
yourself,
around there.
yeah, when
What?
you're by yourself and you haven't seen anybody for like a few days or a week,
Mm-hmm.
people report that they start feeling like they're being followed or they're being watched
Watched.
or they're being
Yeah.
chased. And it's sometimes it could be because you're truly being followed or chased, but sometimes it's like,
So, if you think you're being followed, you are.
well, it's because I don't know. Like, some
Yeah.
people report that they are feeling followed or chased, and I can't say I'm not there. I can't say that they were or not.
Mm.
But what I can say is that, like, sometimes the feeling of solitude can cause those feelings as well.
It can make you a little paranoid, especially
Yeah.
for like, say for example, like 100 miles being by yourself. Like that can take a toll on someone.
Yeah. So another thing that happens to hikers is sometimes they can get trail fatigue after being on the trail months and months. It has been reported that they can get tired of it. They can get tired of being challenged every day. They can get homesick, like they want to go home, and it gets kind of hard to resupply for food and water as not all sections have nearby towns or sources. It has been reported too that water sources can dry up in the summer, so sometimes the amount of water that you have to carry is way too much for a hiker, like with just their supplies. Blisters or injuries or illness can derail progress and force hikers to pause or quit as well. People that actually live in Appalachia, though, describe many paranormal events happening in this area. Some of the most interesting paranormal events that have happened here are the Brown Mountain lights. Off in the distance in the peak of Brown Mountain, people will see lights dance where they either extinguish or explode. There was also Mothman. Beginning in 1966, people reported seeing a large human like bird that had glowing red eyes. Over the next year, people saw this being about 8 times before it culminated in the Silver Bridge catastrophe, which we covered in another episode, where the bridge collapsed and 46 people died.
I think it was actually episode one,
Yeah.
like literally
It
episode
was a
one.
while back. So there was also the Bell Witch, which I know I covered in Spanish, and this was about a family that was terrorized by an entity, and you're just going to have to listen to the Spanish episode. There's also the Moonite people. A Cherokee tribe that lived in the area described these beings as being separate from their tribe. They were small, bearded, with white skin and incredibly big blue eyes. According to legend, the Moonite people were a race of nocturnal humans that were very sensitive to light. They could only see after dark. It is said that these people performed hunting, fishing, and gathering. The point is, all of these tasks were done at night. They did not come out during the day.
Supposedly they still live in that
Hmm.
area in the Appalachian Mountains, and supposedly they live in caves. That there's an entire cave system in the mountains, and that they've lived there. And
And
that's just like a additional.
and that also kind of ties in, like the Moonite people I've heard also ties in with like the disappearances in state parks because that's the same like underground like system that they use. It's so weird how like some of these like conspiracy theories or like these urban legends, or not urban legends but like folk legends, kind of like tie in together.
Yeah.
So because people say that like wherever the hikers are disappearing or like people that visit these parks are because of the cave systems under that something's pulling them into the cave systems.
Or it might just be that people accidentally fall into like these caves or like a sinkhole.
Very
So
true.
it can be like a very like practical explanation, but it also is like strange that a lot of this phenomena are linked to these cave systems that expand through the entire area.
Yeah. So another one that happened there is the Flatwoods Monster. So this is on September 12th, 1952, four boys, Edward May, Freddie May, Neil Nunley, and Tommy Heyer, were playing out in a field near Flatwoods Elementary School. Right before dusk, the boys saw a strange object streak across the sky and crash into a nearby hillside. Intrigued, the boys ran to see what was going on. They picked up a couple of adults on the way, and when the group reached the site, they saw an eerie, pulsing red light. When one of the adults flashed his flashlight at the site, it revealed a 10-foot tall creature with a spade-shaped head and glowing orange eyes. I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm gonna leave it at that. So, because we
Oh,
could,
because I want to cover it as an entire episode because there
hell
is so
yeah,
much more. Like I think there's a lot of connections to other things that may have been seen similar, have
yeah.
been described similar to this creature.
That's so exciting because we've talked about it before, and I can't wait to
Yeah.
do another episode, or like for you to do an episode about it.
Oh, or you can do it.
Yeah. There's also the Wampus cat. So this is the name given to a feline creature with glowing yellow eyes and six legs. It's said to haunt the Appalachian region still to this day.
Yep.
It's still kind of reported every once in a while, but it's more of like a folk creature.
Yeah, and I think it's because the Wampus cat has a very distinct um growl or roar at night,
Mm-hmm.
and locals are actually very familiar with it. That if they hear something, I mean, living in the area for your entire life, you kind of familiarize yourself with the sounds that come out at night. So some people, they can hear a sound out and be like, oh, that's a coyote, oh, that's a wolf, or oh, that's the Wampus. Like they're very distinct from other growls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah.
That could also be another episode. Although sometimes when we get things like this, they do sound very interesting and they're very interesting to do, but sometimes they're not long enough.
I think it'd be a good idea to like include Native American folklore as like one episode. Or I
Yep.
feel like we can probably
Or
separate them in
different
regions.
parts.
Yeah,
Or we could do
regions.
different parts, but like some of these like stories aren't big enough or don't have enough sightings to be like a whole episode's worth. So, but they're still super interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Wampus cat is definitely one of those that like I don't know, like have you ever heard like an elk scream at night
Yes.
in person?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. I was
No, I
like,
have not.
when? Okay, but I'm sure like the people that have are they're familiar with it, like or I've seen like a video or like on a TikTok or YouTube or whatever. It's kind of like that. Like imagine being like camping at night in this area and hearing that late at night, or hearing a wampus growl or a wampus roar. Like
Well,
you'll know.
just imagine how like I don't know if anybody's familiar, but like a bobcat. A bobcat
Yeah.
literally sounds like a woman being murdered screaming in the middle of the night. So I can only imagine what a wampus cat actually sounds like.
Yep.
It's like another cat that lives out in the forest like a bobcat, and it's like I can only imagine how scary that must be. So, the last one, and by all means, this is not like a comprehensive list. This is just like one of the most notable ones that I could think of, is Bigfoot, a bipedal ape-like creature that has been spotted not just here, but Florida,
Literally everywhere.
Oklahoma, the Pacific Northwest, California. Like he travels a lot. Let's just say he's got a lot of stamps in his passport. He's also been to Australia, I think, and Nepal.
I think he has family out there.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's just like the big players of the area. Like there's so many more.
There's a lot more. And so now I'm gonna read some scary stories that I picked up from Appalachia. Again, I know that a lot of people actually sent us some videos of like people that have experienced mimics, weird hauntings, sightings, and like those are to come. But these are the ones that I had that seemed super interesting to me.
Yeah.
So the first one is
Oh, before you start, actually, sorry.
yeah.
That reminds me, there are so many people actually that live within this area that you can literally look up. And I think we should have planned ahead of this a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
like looked up the accounts because there are a few people that live in this region.
Well, we're gonna cover it later.
What,
I'm gonna talk about those people later.
a different episode?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, what I was gonna say, like, there are people that live in this region that have y- entire TikTok accounts of their like encounters and things like that everything that they experience. One in particular, uh it's a woman that has like a farmland on like in this area with her husband, and anytime like there's like a weird sound or like they kind of know like, oh, okay, time to go inside.
Yep.
There have been some that they are literally recording, just recording like them walking outside talking about something completely irrelevant, and you hear like the voices of other people in their background when there's like nobody around for miles.
Yeah, there's weird shit that happens here. All right. So the first story I got is from Appalachia Stories. 5 true scary Appalachian stories, trail stories from the channel Let's Read. Way back when I was in my mid 20s in the late 1980s, I used to be hardcore into hiking and camping. But given that my home state of Rhode Island is the size of a postage stamp, relatively speaking, anyways, I exhausted a lot of the local campgrounds pretty quickly and began to long for something a little wilder. I had heard a lot of great things about the Appalachian Trail, how hiking it was a badge of honor for people who shared my passion for the outdoors. My uncle on my dad's side had hiked the whole thing over the course of a summer back in the 1950s, and he never shut up about it whenever he saw me and the subject of hiking came up. He made it sound absolutely magical, like there was true wilderness out there just waiting to be explored. So I made up my mind to mimic the journey my uncle took over one summer. I couldn't get the time off work to walk the whole trail, but if I timed it right, I could walk the southern portion from Harper's Ferry to Asheville, North Carolina, in just a couple of weeks, fulfilling a hiking dream I'd have for what seemed like ages. Then in the summer of 1989, I traveled down to Harper's Ferry by bus and train and all my hiking and camping gear on my back. After picking up a few final supplies for my journey south, I hiked up onto the Appalachian Trail and kicked off my journey of a lifetime. Needless to say, the first few days were pretty tough, but I got used to the level of strain quickly. I've never been as hungry or tired as I was on the first few nights in the Appalachia. I brought a hammock with me since I had heard some pretty intense stories about the bugs down in West Virginia. Nasty little beasties with names like assassin bug, which basically has a big spike for a mouth, or cow killer ants, whose stings are said to be so painful they've taken down an actual cow once or twice. That had to be pure rumor, but it was intimidating nonetheless. So every night after my day's hike, I'd take the hammock out of my pack, unroll it, and tie it up between two trees before getting some shut eye. It didn't make for the comfiest night's sleep, but I wasn't complaining, especially if it kept the black widows off me. But since I was out in the woods most nights without cover, every little hoot or squawk from a nocturnal animal would wake me up. It was irritating, sure, but it was part and parcel of being out there bonding with nature. Then one night I woke up, pretty sure I'd heard something rustling the leaves close by. I shifted in my hammock, peering over my shoulder, and felt my blood run cold as I saw a big, dark shape looming over me. I froze, my eyes adjusting to the darkness, and I could tell it was a person just there, statuesque, staring at me. In one fluid motion, I rolled out of my hammock and hit the ground running, bolting into the trees. I didn't care who it was standing over me. Whoever does that kind of thing definitely does not have good intentions, and I wasn't about to stick around to make small talk. I ran a safe distance into the woods, caught my breath, circled around, and then started sneaking back towards my camp. My intention was to make sure it was clear before gathering my stuff and moving on to a safer spot. I took it slowly, scanning the darkness for any sign of the shadowy figure. Eventually, I found my way back to the camp and discovered it was completely deserted, with all my gear apparently untouched. But I had this horrible gut feeling in my gut that whoever had been standing over me had just backed off to watch from a distance, waiting for me to come back before ambushing me. If they weren't there to steal from me, then they obviously wanted something, and I dreaded to think exactly what that was. Regardless, I managed to grab my stuff and get out of the area without anyone sneaking up on me. For the next few days, I walked hard and fast, exhausting myself to put as much distance as possible between me and that place. After that, I figured I was safe. No one had bothered me for days, so I thought I'd be okay from there on out. I was wrong. Hideously wrong. Every single night after that, I struggled to get to sleep. I kept picturing that person standing over me in the darkness, staring down at me. I had no idea how long they had been there or what they had in mind for me. I was just grateful I got out of there. I finally started to feel a little safe after stopping at a sporting goods store in a small town along the trail. I picked up some fishing line, which I used to make tripwires between the trees near my campsite. A couple of empty cans of beans strung together made for a crude alarm system. Anyone who snagged their foot on the wire would make the cans clank together, alerting me. One night, a fox tripped the wire. I rolled out of my hammock, knife in hand, ready to take on whoever was creeping up on me, only to see the furry little guy scurrying away in the moonlight. I laughed at myself about that one. Afterward, I stopped sleeping with the knife in my hand. One slip, and I'd be in a whole world of trouble. A week went by, and I had just about gotten over the whole shadowy figure incident. By then, I had to be almost 100 miles away from where it happened. I had no trouble at all any other night, save for the incidents with the fantastic Mr. Fox. With the help of my little tripwire system, I started sleeping soundly again. Then one night, I woke up suddenly to find that I couldn't move. I couldn't bring my arms up to my sides. The material of the hammock was pushed up in my face, cocooning me, wrapping my entire body. Just as my half awake brain registered what was happening, I heard the sound of fabric snapping. Boom! I hit the dirt, knocking the wind out of me. I had no idea what was going on. I struggled to break free, but I couldn't. Then I felt it. I was being dragged. Someone had bundled me up in my own hammock, cut the ropes tying me to the trees, and was dragging me off. I screamed at the top of my lungs, but no one responded. All I could hear was a rustling of fabric against the forest floor. I had to think fast. I wasn't carrying my knife, but then I remembered my watch. My dad had given it to me years ago, and the clasp was old and sharp. I had accidentally cut myself with it before. I fumbled to unbuckle it. No easy task while being dragged through the woods, but I managed. Clasp in hand, I began raking it against the hammock fabric. It took a few tries, but I saw a sliver of moonlight through the cuts, and I kept going until I could rip my way out, and then I ran. I don't know how I escaped. If it was the same figure from before, they had somehow tracked me for more than 100 miles and bypassed my tripwires. They were a better woodsman than me, probably stronger too. By the time I reached the house with lights on, I turned to look behind me as I pounded on the door. No one was there. The family who lived there took me in for the night. The next morning, the sheriff helped me retrace my steps. We found my camp, but no, not the hammock. He was skeptical, suggested I had gotten lost and scared in the dark, maybe even had a vivid nightmare. But I know what happened. I never finished my hike. The next day, I caught a bus back to Harper's Ferry, then took a train straight home to Providence. I never told many people, figured they'd just think it was just a campfire tale. But when I told my uncle, he just nodded. He had some close calls of his own, said there were people who live up in the mountains, people who don't follow the rules of society. Maybe one day I'll try to hike again. The trail will still be there, but so might whoever tried to drag me off that night.
Jesus, man, that's scary. I was gonna say, like, I think before you started, I was gonna say, I think running into people that you don't know might be scarier than any other creatures that you mentioned,
Well, especially in the middle of the night.
especially in the middle of the night. And I want to say that there are legends in this area that say that people will live off grid. Is that the word, the phrase? They
Yeah,
live off the
they're
grid.
like wild people.
Yeah, that they live out here, just surviving.
Yeah,
That they just abandon like civilization and go live in like the mountains, I guess in this case. There are also legends of people that um like from the early settlers that they started towns here that are very isolated and they feed on people that get lost in these trails.
yeah.
Sorry, maybe you can mention that in a part two.
I was going to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Well, there's your spoiler. There's your teaser. Sorry.
yeah. Okay, so next story is from Darkness Prevails. Disturbing entity in the Appalachian Mountains. 8 true stories of the unexplained. Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts story from Dan the Man. Man, it's understandable to dismiss all the stories about Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts as nothing more than urban legend, tall tales, or a good yarn we New Englanders spin for tourists. But man, the Bridgewater Triangle does not disappoint. By far the most frightening experience I've had in the triangle occurred in the late 80s. At the time, I resided in a town that sits at the northern tip of the triangle. It all started in the summer of 1988. I was 19 years old and finally striking out on my own. I moved into the Tree Village apartment complex in the town of Abington. There is nothing remarkable about Abington. It's a sleepy blue collar town 21 miles south of Boston. At least that's how I found it for a while. The complex itself wasn't much to look at, just a decaying relic of the 1960s. What got my attention was the wooded area that bordered the complex on 3 sides. At night, the few remaining security lights that still functioned struggled to illuminate the black void of the woods. Little did I know that in the coming days, weeks, and months, I would encounter something I still to this day cannot reconcile in my mind. The first time I encountered the little ones, I found myself floating out of my first floor window down the back of my complex towards the woods. I couldn't figure out why. After a second or two, I looked up and completely freaked out. My heart started racing. I was in full fight or flight mode. I couldn't move, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was surrounded by diminutive, pale, white creatures with spindly little arms and legs. It was like a slow motion nightmare. When we finally made it to the woods and passed into the black void effortlessly, I was struggling. I wanted to run, but I was stuck like a fly in a web. I wanted to lash out at the little bastards, and then everything went black. The next thing I knew, it was morning and I was in my bed. For the rest of the summer, I would have periodic late night encounters with these creatures. The visits were random and followed no logical pattern. The memories of these encounters come to me in flashes like a demented kaleidoscope of terror. My encounter with these energies ended when I moved back to Boston that winter. Over 30 years later, I still have no explanation for what happened to me the summer of 1988.
Oh my God, dude. As soon as you said like the little things, I'm like, dude, doing this. And the
Yep.
crazy thing is, I think you forgot to mention about the Bridgewater Triangle is an area within the Appalachian region
Mm-hmm.
that crazy things happen there too.
Hell yeah.
Crazy things. There are strange apparitions, there's strange creatures that show up at night.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of true crime cases because it's kind of a dumping ground for bodies there as well.
Mhm.
Like there's just kind of like a
A lot
lot
of
of everything.
UFOs, a lot of UFO sighting in this area too. But for you to, I think as soon as you mentioned in that the complex backed up into the woods, like so it was kind of like surrounded by woods. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh no, something
Yeah.
is there.
Scary. So the last story I have is Oconee Spirits by Swamp Fox. I think this is the last story I have, and obviously this is just like I said, part one, so we're gonna keep going. In the summer of 2015, deep in the southern Appalachian Mountains of Oconee County, South Carolina, I had an experience that shook me to my core. As a geologist, I spent much of my free time hiking and camping in these mountains, and I also wrote articles for an online outdoor publication. It was during my search for interesting local stories that a friend introduced me to an elderly native gentleman, known for his knowledge of the area and his gift for storytelling. We met at a small diner, and for nearly 2 hours he captivated me with tales of the land. One particular story stood out: a long abandoned home deep in the wilderness near the Georgia border. According to legend, the property, which included an old family cemetery, was haunted by the ghosts of its former inhabitants. Though I dismissed the supernatural elements as folklore, I was eager to find the site for my next article. Determined to explore, I set off early one Saturday morning, accompanied by my loyal rescue dog, Shan. The weather was perfect. Warm sunlight filtered through the trees, and a gentle breeze provided me some relief from the summer heat. We made good progress throughout the day, but by sundown, I had yet to find the ruins. Just as I was considering setting up camp, I stumbled upon a clearing, and it was there. A crumbling brick chimney stood among the ruins of what had been a home. Yet something felt off. No trees grew in the clearing, and the vegetation was sparse and sickly compared to the lush forest around it. I chalked it up to poor soil conditions, but Shan's behavior made me feel uneasy. Normally fearless, my dog refused to enter the clearing. Instead, he lingered at the tree line, body tense, ears pricked forward, staring at the ruins as if sensing something that I could not. When I called him, he wouldn't budge, only paced anxiously along the edge of the woods. Still, I pressed on. Soon finding rusted metal crosses marking the graves in the cemetery, excited by my discovery, I began taking pictures, momentarily forgetting my dog's distress. As darkness settled, I decided to set up camp just inside the forest, hoping that this would ease Shan's nerves. He seemed satisfied as long as we stayed outside the clearing. That night, beneath the cool mountain sky, I lay beside my dog, content with the day's success, and quickly fell into a deep sleep. Then, in the dead of night, I awoke. Shan had jumped to his feet, every muscle tense, eyes locked onto the ruins. A sound carried through the still air, the unmistakable sound of a child or a woman crying. My heart pounded as I sat up, straining to see through the dim moonlight. The sorrowful weeping drifted from the direction of the old house. Then a man's voice murmured something low and unintelligible. My rational mind clung to the simplest explanation. Someone must be here. Hello, I called. The crying softened into a whisper and the murmuring faded, but there was no response, no movement, just silence. I hesitated only a moment before stepping towards the ruins. My skin prickled with unease, but I had to know. As I climbed the slight hill, the moon illuminated the remnants of the house. The chimney, a cracked stone floor, and a few scattered timbers. No one was there. Yet the voices had been so clear. A cold dread settled over me. If people had been there, there was nowhere for them to hide. No way for them to vanish into the night unseen. My breath caught in my throat as the crying and murmuring suddenly ceased, as if the very air had been sucked from the clearing. I didn't know how long I stood frozen in place. My mind struggled to process what I had just experienced. Then, as if like waking from a trance, I forced myself to turn back. Shan was waiting at the tree line, wagging his tail furiously the moment he saw me. I dropped to my knees, rubbing his fur, grounding myself in reality. That night, we sat wide awake, awaiting for dawn, too afraid to sleep. As soon as the first light touched the forest, we left. Back in town, I sought out the elderly storyteller and recounted my experience. He merely nodded, unsurprised, and assured me that what I had encountered was the lingering spirits of the family who had once lived there. The land was cursed, he said. Even in the light of day, my rational mind tries to explain away what happened. But deep down, I know the truth. I heard the voices of the dead, and I will never return to that place. So,
Whoa.
and that's the end of like what I have for now.
Do you think that was real?
These experiences about Appalachian, yes, I do believe that they're real.
I feel
I,
like this one in particular, I don't know if I believe it. I mean, it's Appalachia, so I feel like anything crazy can happen, honestly.
mm-hmm,
Um, but with the way that it was written, it seemed like why did he go? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like, hey, this guy at a diner told me this crazy story. I gotta go check it out. I mean, granted, that is something we would do anyway.
mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like for him to go by himself, for him to go with his dog, like for him to like ignore his dog's warnings or like his behavior and just kind of dismiss it as if like the dog's barking and um he just kind of brushes it off and it's like, anyway, I'm gonna keep going.
Anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
Well, but also he's a geologist and he writes for a magazine, so he
that's
has to
true.
go do these things
That's
so that
true.
he has stories or so that he has something for the magazine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the episode, the Halloween special we covered where we talked about like my episode, my Halloween episode that we talked
Mm-hmm.
about the story that someone shared of their uncle's cabin in the middle of the woods, and he went out there and it was like covered in like these strange mushrooms. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
That was like one of my favorite cases or like stories or episodes to record, honestly. Like that was really fun.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time for the palate cleansers.
Oh boy.
So what do we got?
We got a lot going on actually.
Okay.
Do you have anything?
Yes. So our prima Jocelyn
N-
sent us her little shining twins, is what she called them. They're two little twin cats
Oh.
that are evil. One's named Baphomet and the other one's Beelzebub. So definitely evil. No, they're sweet. I say
So
that.
she said that they're like siblings from the same litter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I was like, are they twins? And I was thinking like, can cats have twins?
I
Like how
don't
would they know? Like obviously the cats wouldn't know. Be like, "Oh my God, you look just like me." But like I know that some cats have like patterns. Um, but it's like would twins have the same patterns? I don't know. There
that
has to
is
be,
I
right?
was gonna say that is I've never thought of that before. Are
Like
there cat
do
twins?
pets have like do cats have twins?
I don't know. These were two black cats, so they could be twins and we just don't know because
That's
their
true.
pattern's the same.
They literally look the exact same. They were so
Yeah.
cute. And I mean, we have a black cat, kind of.
Benny.
Benny.
He's bad.
Um,
He's the one that ate Jesus' head and had to go get surgery. He had to have Jesus' head removed from his belly.
Dude, that was crazy.
That was crazy. That was a
So
very
during
strange time.
Christmas, to those that listen to us from almost a year ago, honestly, uh, one of our cats ate a little figurine of Jesus during Christmas time,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't know until he was having like stomach pain. So we took him to the vet. They gave him an X-ray, and the X-ray technician says, he has Jesus Christ in his belly." And we're like,
It is so clear in the ultrasound.
"Girl." I was like, "Actually, he's in our hearts." No.
He's like, no, he's literally in
He
his
had to go
belly.
under wait, he had to go get surgery.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's a menace. But I think black cats are cute because the distinction between their teeth and their fur is really funny sometimes because I feel like the little fangs are more noticeable than like other cats.
Yeah. Next, our primo Miguel Angel sent us Cinnamon, la perra, and his cute little cat Callie.
Why do you gotta say it like that?
Cinnamon, la perra, that's literally what her name is.
Oh,
Yeah. Then we've got Adri, who sent us her cute little chihuini named Frijol. And she says that she might see us at Starve Rock because she actually lives very close by here.
oh yeah, she did say that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm like these sound familiar. I feel like these are the few that you've let me see.
Yeah.
Other ones you're like, I'm like, can I see? And you're like,
No.
no.
No, absolutely not. One day
But trust me, they're good.
we'll figure out how to put the pictures up as we're talking about them. But for now, like we're just gonna tell you about them. Sofia M sent us Cosmo and Lucifer, or Lucy and Momo as she calls them, and
Oh,
two cats too. Two black cats for because we're getting ready for Halloween
oh my
time.
God, and they're twins.
They're twins.
No,
They're actually also Baphomet and Beelzebub, and they just switch houses.
or all four are twins.
Yeah. So my friend Big Chungus sent us their pets, Janie, a beautiful little cat, a gorgeous spider named Elvira, and lastly, a millipede named Cenobite, like from Hellraiser.
And
So
thank you
that was
for
it.
not sending those to me, because if I saw a spider, the way I would have reacted
Yeah.
and just thrown my phone.
And I also want to say that I apologize. So I realize that I forget to go back and look at messages. So what I'll do is mark you as unread or don't open your message. It is not because I'm ignoring you, but it is because I want to keep seeing the notification so I can eventually remember to like, oh, we've got podcast pets. Let me go look at that message and type it on the spreadsheet because I got a spreadsheet going so
Yeah.
that because it was kind of hard for us to keep track of it before when we would have emails and stuff on Instagram. Like, I'm like, what did I read? What have I not read? How to keep track of it? Like, do I put it in the notes in my notes app or do I take screenshots and delete the screenshots? And then it was just kind of a mess. So I'm like, I'm just going to have a spreadsheet.
We're finally
Another
getting
spreadsheet.
another. Can you tell we're in corporate?
Yes, we work
And
in corporate.
we work in corporate. We're gonna make a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Lastly, our prima Evie
It might just be Eve. I'm
or
sorry.
Eve sent us her beautiful little bird Bluey. They have had her for about a year and they just found out she's a girl and they made her a little
They
nest and
made her a
she
little
laid an egg.
nest. She's a mother.
She's mother. She's mothering. She's so
She's
mothering.
mother.
Okay,
Mother.
so now we're gonna look at the actual palette cleanser part of it because there's some very interesting stuff that you have on here.
Oh my God. I'm bashful. Well,
Um,
first of all, let me start off by saying now that summer's over, we can finally enjoy pumpkin spice the way God intended it, free of judgment.
free
Do
of
you like
judgment.
do you like pumpkin spice?
I don't like pumpkin spice drinks anymore, but I like pumpkin spice like food.
Like what?
Pumpkin spice rolls, like
Oh,
the
okay, okay,
cream
okay. Yeah.
rolls.
When
There's
you said
the
food, I'm like, okay, like
pumpkin spice cookies, pie, ice
yeah.
cream. Because do you remember when I would get drinks from like the mermaid?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, it tasted like liquid barbecue to me. Like
You did say that.
like
Okay, I do remember
the
that.
like
It
the taste of like it tasted
barbecue
like
sauce.
it tasted like the cinnamon and the smokiness. There was like a smokiness in there. And I'm like, dude, this is starting to taste like barbecue. And after I like made that connection, it literally tasted like liquid barbecue to me. I say liquid barbecue as if barbecue's not liquid already, but like a coffee barbecue every time after I drank that. It didn't matter from where. If it was like we make the syrup in house, where a local coffee shop,
Yeah.
it tastes like barbecue. If it's from the La Sirenita, it tastes like barbecue. It tastes like barbecue. Wait, can I say that? Is if it's from whoever runs the world runs on this.
We're like playing charades. The
Yeah,
world runs on this, and they have a sauce that
yeah,
tastes like barbecue.
yeah.
I
Their
think I know
coffee
what you
tastes like
mean.
barbecue too.
I think I know what you mean, but I feel like I've only ever heard that with like I know what you mean.
I thought we weren't gonna say the
Oh,
name.
sorry.
Let's call it La Sirenita. La Sirenita.
I, I keep saying don't say this and then I'll say it.
Yeah,
But I know what you mean. I think I don't get that with any other drink place.
yeah. I guess. I feel like my brain clicked, and then it can't unclick. I can't unclick that button anymore. It just tastes like liquid, like coffee barbecue sauce.
Is that why I went to I'll say it because it's a local business, Cafe de Casa in Crest Hill, and I asked you, "Do you want something?" and you said no. I was like, "They have pumpkin stuff."
Also because I have heart issues, so I
Oh,
can't drink caffeine right
right.
now. So
So pumpkin spice lattes are just out of the question for you.
yeah, I love being 34. I love having heart issues.
We love being in our 30s.
Yes,
Check out this neat trick. Doctors hate us.
and then clack.
Just break something.
No, like it clicks.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Funny story. It's like I'm obviously like getting older, and so when I'm in jujitsu class, like you're basically wrestling with another person to
Yeah.
like kind of practice the moves that they teach you. And the other day, I got paired with somebody, and he kept stopping, and he's like, "Your bone just cracked. Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Bruh, my bones sound like Rice Krispies." I'm like,
You're
"This is."
actually
I'm
like,
like,
oh, thank you. I haven't cracked
I'm
that
like,
bone since
keep it
like
moving, keep it moving,
1998.
keep it moving. I'm like, when I tap, it means it hurts. If I'm good, I'm good. I'm like, just if you hear clicking and groaning, I'm like, let's just keep going.
You're
Keep
like, I
going.
actually don't have to go to the chiropractor anymore. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's fine. So,
It's just like you're like, yeah, I do that sometimes.
but it was kind of funny. Like, I appreciate that he was looking out for me, but I was like, dude, no, my all my bones do that at this point. Like, if you're gonna stop every single time, we're never gonna learn the move. We're gonna have to move on. All right, so
I have a few other stuff.
what?
So the new Tron movie is coming out.
Uh-huh.
I'm so excited. Me and its two other fans will be in attendance.
Yeah.
I remember when I mentioned, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I tried looking in the messages, but I think when I mentioned that I went to the Tron Legacy premiere for my birthday and like nobody else was there, um, there was like a few other people.
Just you.
I think someone else had message us and say like, "Hey, uh, don't feel alone. Like I was there too. Like I went to the premiere too."
Aw,
So yeah, me and that one person, we will be in attendance. Yes. Because I'm
nice.
excited. I feel like the movie looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I'm just like a big sucker for like any sci-fi uh type of movie like that.
yeah.
So, what else? A lot of people message us this, but Lady Gaga's new music video was filmed at Isla de las Muñecas.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Okay, go ahead.
There are a lot of people that are very excited about Isla de las Muñecas, but I feel like it's a little almost like disrespectful.
I see that. Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I
I get
feel
what
like
you
maybe
mean.
I'm just social justicing a little too close to the sun,
Oh my
but
God, you're too woke.
I don't know. I just feel like it was kind of disrespectful. I don't know.
I see that. I see that. I think it was unexpected.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like, out of anywhere that she could have filmed a music video, like, why here?
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was the song. Like, granted, I haven't seen the music video. I've seen clips of it. I haven't listened to the song.
It's a good song.
Does it have anything to do with dolls?
Yes. Metaphorically. Yes.
Okay, then I guess the theme is.
Actually, no, I'm just kidding. I haven't listened to that song.
Oh my! Cut the
I
cameras.
have seen the clips though of like Isla de las Muñecas. Maybe it's because like recently I feel like people have done things with our culture in like bad faith.
That's true.
And I
Yeah,
feel like I'm kind of weary about it because I'm like, is this just performative? Because I'm so over the performative shit.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think anytime there is like mention of it,
Mm-hmm.
of anything like uniquely Mexican or like uniquely from that area, from a specific area, I feel like it kind of gets treated as like a touristy place
Mm-hmm.
and more like, oh, look at the aesthetics. Isn't it weird? Instead of like learning about the history and like understanding why that is there to begin with.
Yeah. Like we still have
Uh,
to have reverence for the spirits that are there because it's obviously like a very, whether you believe in them or not, a little girl died there.
yeah.
So, can I ask you about the summer I turned unk? What is going on here?
Oh, brother.
What is this?
Why did you have to ask me about that one?
Because I'm like this out of all of these, this one stands out. Let me ask.
um, this is just the summer I turned unk.
Is this a reference for the summer I turned pretty?
No,
Hmm.
it could have been. I didn't think that far ahead. Uh,
Gotcha.
but do you know what unk means?
Like an uncle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like we're old.
You have been dressing a little differently lately.
Hello?
I've noticed that. It's kind of cute, but it's older.
I brought out my like New Balance. It's like
Yeah.
it's giving uncle.
It's cuz and I get it. Like sometimes I'm like I don't even know what to wear anymore. I'm 34 years old and it's like when I look up like casual outfits for a 30-year-old and I've said this on the podcast before, but it's like the knitted sweaters with like the wood buttons on it and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to dress like that. I'm not going to dress like a J. Crew ad.
Or even
I'm
worse,
not dressing like that.
like a polo.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's so ugly. And I'm like, is there not something a 34-year-old can wear that's like age appropriate and like
Yeah.
doesn't look like that? I'm like, this is so weird. Because then I also like I appreciate the trends that the younger people are doing with like the baggy jeans and stuff like that, but that's not me anymore. And I feel like if I wore those, it's like an older person trying to wear younger people's clothes that doesn't look cool. And
Yeah.
it looks and if you are out there and you look young and you can pull it off, more power to you. I'm saying for me, myself, my body, how I feel about it on
Yeah.
myself is
That's true.
that I look like I'm wearing a costume.
That's
And
true.
so it's like I just don't really know what to wear.
I think for me, I feel like I barely get by with wearing like baggy jeans and like that type of dress.
Mhm.
Uh but just barely. Like if I were like a few years older, I'm like, I don't think I can do this, guys. Um
Pack it up.
but in regards to like the summer I turned unk, I guess I don't know, I guess I'm realizing that like I remember looking back when I turned 30, it did feel like the end of an era kind of.
Mhm.
And for a while I was sad. Um but I remember my my former um coworker, Chris, she messaged me and said, "I completely understand, but like I swear like your 30s are like the years that you have fun and that you like learn more about yourself. Like your 20s, the way she described it, and I'm sorry I don't remember the exact wording, but she said that your 20s are the decade where you're allowed allow yourself to make mistakes and
Mhm.
learn. But your 30s are where you allow yourself to have fun."
Yeah.
And I don't know why like that stuck with me, cuz like several people said like something nice on my birthday. But that one for some reason stuck out to me where I was like, Okay.
Nice words of wisdom.
Yeah, and I feel like I see it, like I get it, where it's like I'm not like ashamed of my age, and especially like when we've mentioned before, it's like in other cultures that are like non-American, um, there's like reverence to like older generation, older people. There's respect that's given to older people, and I feel like I kind of
I
get
agree with
that.
this.
I kind of get that with younger people where they don't see me as like an equal, but as more like
Somebody older?
somebody older, somebody deserving of respect, I guess. So yeah, that's the summer I turned unk.
Interesting.
So I swear it's not anything bad.
What about radioactive Walmart shrimp? What is up with that?
You do not have to ask me. I
Because you're gonna pick one that I don't want to talk about, and these are interesting to me.
Okay, so radioactive Walmart shrimp.
Okay.
What do you know about it?
I don't know anything. That's why I'm asking
Oh,
you.
okay. No, that's good. That's
Is it
good.
the song?
Yes. No, no, no. So, the radioactive Walmart shrimp. So I don't remember when it was. I want to say it was like July or something, or
Okay.
even like earlier than that.
Uh-huh.
Walmart recalled shrimp, bags of shrimp, because supposedly they were radioactive.
Where did the shrimp come from?
I don't know. I didn't look into it.
Oh,
But
that's
somebody
weird.
I should have looked into it, but I didn't care enough because I saw the headline and I just laughed and I wrote it down. Um
Radioactive Walmart shrimp.
there were so many memes about it. Um saying like me after eating the radioactive Walmart shrimp or something. And it was like just like a weird crazy animal or something.
Oh my God. Yeah, people get crazy with it.
I thought it was funny, but that's crazy that you didn't hear about it.
I feel like I do remember seeing the memes, but I'm like, people are so weird. Why are they talking about radioactive Walmart shrimp? Why are they
Yeah, I get
creating
it.
memes about this?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm just old and I moved on with my day and never went back, but I should have looked into it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have time for one more. What do you got?
So for Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, by the way, we're halfway done.
Happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
I hope you guys love me more. Anyway, so La Seraphim, a K-pop group. So those
Hmm.
that don't know, I swear that like this is relevant, I swear.
Kevin only talks about K-pop.
I only ever talk about K-pop actually. But La Seraphim, they are a Korean pop group.
Uh-huh.
Um, for their Latin America leg of their world tour, they did a cover of Amor Prohibido by Selena. Have you listened to it?
I heard you listening to it.
Dude, it's so good. And obviously they don't speak Spanish. Um, but I think they're all very like good vocalists, and I think it sounded like really good.
Oh, good.
And I think it was to like obviously like honor Selena and like Mexico and Latin America, because I think the Latin America tour like did start in Mexico.
Yeah.
So and they were in Chicago a few days ago.
And
We
we
should have
didn't see
gone.
them.
We should have gone. We should have gone because it
Oh.
looked so fun.
Ah,
It
man.
looks so fun. But you guys should definitely check it out. It's Amor Prohibido by La Seraphim.
I've been listening to Casey Musgraves because she was in Mexico City and did a song in Spanish with mariachis.
Oh, I saw that.
And that was good
I
too.
saw that. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And she is such a good singer too.
mm-hmm.
Beautiful
She
gowns.
she stands Mexicans and black people, and I love that. I love that. And she seems very genuine with it. She does not seem like she's like doing it as an act. She's from
Yeah.
Texas.
She's a
She's
Texas
from
girl. She's
Texas.
from Texas. I've never said anything bad about Texas, by the way.
That's a bold-faced lie. Anyways, so I think that's all we have for today, right?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Oh, I was supposed to say it.
okay.
So thank you for listening. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Qué Spooky Podcast. Any email suggestions, email sorry. Also email us any story suggestions or your own scary stories at getspookypodcast@gmail.com. Special thanks to Taylor Turner for the artwork, Kyle Fields for the intro music, and Leonardo for the logo redesign. And don't forget to tell someone you love how much they mean to you. I'm so sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
That was brutal at the end.
I wanted to read it fast.
I wanted to read it fat. Damn, my legs were sweating.